day 2 of Sandfest, but you've already started out a little disappointed.
I wanted to build a sandcastle, and they have lessons here, but only if you're ages 6 to 12 with a parent present. And since I'm neither of those things, nor are my parents present, I guess I don't get to do it.
And it's based on age, not size.
Yeah, because I am smaller than some of these 12-year-olds out here.
It's going to be an entire weekend of sandcastles. We are at Texas Sandfest 2025.
It's actually day 0. We're here on the Thursday night before, getting our wristbands, getting the lay of the land, and we're excited to get back here and see what happens from a pile of sand to the sculpture. It's the first official day of Sandfest now. It's Friday afternoon. We parked at Gracie's Way. It's an open field parking lot, and we rode the shuttle here. There's a few options for that around town to get a shuttle to come here so you don't have to deal with the craziness of parking here at the beach. So that was a breeze, and now we're gonna go wander the festival and see what it's all about.
Hey, we're in the amateur section. Should we grab some tools and enter?
Oh, I'd love to. But wait, all I know how to do is drip castles. Well, maybe that'll win.
At what point do you think you move up from drip castles to carpenter levels?
Ooh, I think I may need a few more years. I mean, I have all the tools. One guy's using a melon baller. I have one of those. I've got a ruler. I mean, I can do this, right?
Is that what you mean when you say you make drip castles?
Oh, that's a fancy drip castle. I mean, mine are usually a little bit drippier than that.
More drip, less castle?
More drip, less castle.
Hours of walking around and many grains of sand moved. The first official day of Sandfest has been a lot of fun.
Yeah, we only came for a part of the day in the afternoon. It started at 9 this morning. We didn't get here till mid-late afternoon. But just the progress we saw them make in just a couple hours. I mean, the progress that they made from yesterday is very impressive, but even just in the couple hours we were here, we saw a number of them transform from, I think that might be an animal, to, oh my gosh, that's a full goat. So yeah, it's amazing what they can accomplish very quickly.
And the professional level has 4 days to work on their projects, right? And so it's going to be incredible to see what they've done, you know, days later as opposed to just hours later.
Yeah, I'm assuming by Sunday they'll be just working on like minor and finer details. So I'm really looking forward to seeing all like the little nuances that they put into it.
I think you're right, although it's interesting to me how sometimes they're working on big parts, then all of a sudden they'll just hone in on like a face or a very specific detail of something and get that all apparently finished, and then they move out from there. So I'm sure it's in their head. This is why I can't do this, because I don't have that kind of vision.
Well, and also they start at the top and work their way down so that they can stand on their platform, and then they remove their platform, whether it's their wood or their plastic, as they go. So I think that's partly why, is they'll do all the detail at the top and then they'll move down and do the next section as they go. So it's very impressive to watch.
The secret sauce? It is day 2 of Sandfest. It's Saturday. It's already a lot busier.
It's way busier in the first half hour than it was at all yesterday.
But there's a lot more activity going on with sand castles being built, sand sculptures being made at the amateur level, the semi-pro and the pro, so it's exciting to see what people are coming up with.
Yeah, I'm really excited to go watch the amateurs today. They just started this morning, and so they've been going maybe about a half hour, and I'm really curious what they're going to accomplish in just a few hours, because they only have today.
I think this is the 28th year of Sandfest here in Port Aransas, and you can tell because they've got stuff figured out. There's giant water tanks, water troughs, pumper trucks, because they're going to use a lot of water on this sand. There are numerous places with dozens of porta potties.
Oh, yeah. I don't think I've ever seen really this many porta potties, except for maybe like a marathon, and even then there's not enough porta potties. So yeah, they got a lot going on here.
They've learned over the years what they need to do, and you noticed something pretty great in the kids area.
Yeah, I read this in the brochure, and then I went and looked at it, and well, for the kids, it's only $5 to get it in, and for the little kids, it's free. But you can get them their own yellow wristband where you write your name and information on it, the parents' name and information. So if they were to get separated, and there's also a sandcastle right at the entrance where they ask you to stop and take a picture of your child so that you have what they're wearing, you know, should they get separated and need to find them later. So I think that's great that they call that right out. Do that the minute you walk in the gate, and then you're peace of mind for the rest of the weekend.
Yeah, because this is a place where kids are definitely going to get distracted and wander off. I have a hard enough time keeping track of you because of that.
Yeah,
So
the kids are just, there's separate areas for the kids, but also they're just plopping down in the middle of the beach and building their own sandcastle in the middle of the walkway because, well, again, we're at the beach, so there's sand everywhere.
there's something that surprised both of us, I think, and that is how much sand they start with in terms of big boxes or buckets of sand that are compressed, and then they just start hacking away and take so much of it all at once.
Yeah, we just watched her unbox one of her compacted blocks and then started sort of etching it out. And I thought, okay, she's gonna, I don't know what she's gonna make, but she's gonna slowly etch into it. Oh no, she just hacked away at that thing and 3/4 of the block just disappeared in like 30 seconds. And yeah, I didn't realize how much of it was gonna go away. I thought she was gonna sculpt into it, not take it apart.
But now it's like a craggly little mountain. And so it's one of those things where, I mean, they also say it was sculptures, right? Like the sculpture is already inside the block. You have to just uncover it. I guess that's what she's doing.
Yeah, she's got a vision and it's cool to sit here and watch it come to life.
I think one thing a lot of people don't realize, I know I didn't, was how much attention to detail these artists are putting into their artwork for what is essentially a temporary piece of art.
Yeah, it's been fun watching them do such minute details such as fur or eyelashes or just texture. And then to think that come Wednesday, the city's just gonna come in and bulldoze this all down. It's really sad how much work they're putting into it for, like Ari said, temporary. But it's still so cool to watch them work, to get those little fine details that really make their sculptures pop.
This is one of those events where it's a good idea to just occasionally stop and stare.
Yeah, I could sit here all day and watch them because what I think they're going to do and what they do are two totally different things. And I don't, and then it's like just this vision that I don't have to see what's coming to life here. So I just loved watching them work.
So the big block of sand you thought ended up being craggly rocks, and what was it actually?
Craggly rocks with the name of her sculpture on it. So it became her sign. And it's really cool, actually.
The end of day 2 at Sandfest, I am baked.
And my feet are tired.
It has been a long day, but you mentioned it was going by really fast, and it does. There's so much going on with, you know, music and food and vendors and moving from pile of sand to pile of sand to see what has been created in the time that you were walking around.
Yeah, I think we originally thought, well, we'll go in the morning, maybe we'll leave, go do something else and come back. And then you find yourself just immersed in all of it because you want to sit and watch the sculptures and then the sculpture sculpting so that you can see how it transforms. So we would just, like you said, go from pile of sand to pile of sand. But we also sat for an hour and a half and listened to one of the music performances. They had dueling pianos, and so that was a good break off of our feet for a while. Wandered the vendors, like you said, and picked up a couple things. So there is a lot to do that keeps your attention all day long.
Absolutely. And so we're at the end of day 2. The amateur competition is now done. They've been judged. They have their winners. Some really impressive work for amateurs. It's so cool to watch people create things out of sand.
Yeah, I think I'm kind of bummed because my favorite, it doesn't sound like it won at all, and I don't know how it didn't win because they literally made a balloon dog out of sand and it looks like a balloon animal. I mean, it's very impressive, but I didn't, unless I missed it, I didn't hear it get called among the winners, so I'll have to double check. But yeah, there's just some very fantastic creativity brains that were behind this whole operation here.
And there's still a lot more underway. It's Saturday evening. They're getting ready to shut down the sand sculpting for the day, and they start up again first thing in the morning on Sunday, and they have until noon. So the semi-pros and the professionals, the masters as they call them, will go until noon tomorrow, and then they have to be done. And they've already made so much progress, and it's going to be so cool to see their finished products.
So stay tuned and we'll be back tomorrow. It's Sunday morning, the last day of Sandfest 2025. We're gonna go check out the final hours of the Masters competition, see what they've come up with before they get ready to be judged this afternoon.
When you buy your ticket for Sandfest, it covers all 3 days of the event. And we've actually been here 3.5 days because we came in Thursday afternoon before everything was actually underway, but they'd already started some of their carving. And I'm glad we've been here that much time, and I would recommend you do that too, because the transformation from like day to day is interesting, but almost hour to hour is fascinating to watch.
Yeah, we've gone along, looked at some and said, oh, that's really cool. Come back even, an hour later, and they've added way more detail and intricacy to it. And so you got to just stand there for a while and not only watch them sculpt the big stuff, but the little details as too, whether it's the window panes or the bricks on the wall, or it's eyelashes, or designs on a foot, boot, whatever. I mean, there's so much going on here. It's just fun to watch them work and see all those details come to life.
It's certainly a situation where when you walk up to a sculpture, you're going to kind of get the big picture, but stand there and stare at it for a few minutes and you will start to see those little details like you mentioned, whether, hieroglyphics at one point I saw on one of them, and you just never know what little detail, and kudos to the artist for putting those details in because it just makes it that much more fun.
You can't go to a festival without getting a funnel cake.
Early on when we got here, we talked a little bit about how sometimes you have to start at the top of a sculpture and work your way down because of the sand pile that you're working on. And this is a classic case. You just told me where one makes a lot more sense now 3 days later.
Yeah, so when we first got here Thursday, Friday, it looked like a ghost, maybe a Grim Reaper. We weren't really sure. It was kind of odd. Now that they've gotten down to the bottom and they built the boat, you realize it's the ferryman. And it's really cool and creative, but it took 4 days for that vision to come to life for all of us watching to understand what they were building.
A lot of light bulbs going on over people's heads today. I think that it's the final day.
We are wrapping up Sandfest 2025, and it has been a fabulous 3 days.
It's a lot of fun. It's a big party on the beach, basically, but you're watching some amazing artists do some incredible work with huge piles of sand. And we've really enjoyed being here all 3 days and watching the transformation as things have been created.
The solos get about 9 yards of sand. The duos get twice that amount, and it's crazy what they come up with.
The sand weighs tons and tons. You don't realize how much wet sand weighs, but this is the beach here in Port Aransas, Texas, that these guys love because of the way it's got the silt in it, the moisture content, the way they can work with it. Anyway, I don't know much about it. All I know is this is where they want to be.
It's Sunday afternoon, and the sculpting is all done now, and now it's time for judging. And they will judge each other's, the solos judge the duos judge the solos, and then there's the semi-pro, judging as well that goes on. And so they'll announce the winners later. I don't know what they get for it. I guess I never asked that question. I'm assuming there's a prize pot. But I think they're all winners because they're all fabulous in their own right.
There are masters, which are considered the professionals. There's semi-pros, there's amateurs. All of it is impressive. I mean, some of the stuff these people are doing, everything is amazing in its own way, and it's just been amazing to watch it.
What's fun about the judging, too, is they do people's choice. So we all got a ticket for all the 3 different categories, and so we could go around and put our ticket in. And that's fun because, again, like I said, I think they're all winners. It's really hard to choose because you can judge, like a favorite character or a message or just an overall sculpture, or there's just so many ways that you can think about why you'd want to pick a specific thing. So I can't imagine how hard it is for them to judge too.
We actually spent 3.5 days at this 3-day Sandfest because we came in on Thursday afternoon before everything was really ticketed and up and running. But after that amount of time here, we have narrowed it down to our 2 hot tips for you.
Hot tip number 1, be here all 3 days, all day. Yes, that's a lot, but it's so worth it to see the transformation. And if you can come in early on either Wednesday or Thursday, if they let you in, come see that because you'll see all the forms in place before they really start sculpting, and to see the complete beginning to end is just crazy. And it was so cool to see. And because you're going to be here all day for 3 days in the hot baking sun, make sure you come prepared with your hat, your sunglasses, your sunscreen. I have seen so many bright red people that didn't put enough of that on. They're going to hurt later. But one good thing here is that they do let you bring in your own water, your own food. Yes, they have vendors. The only things you can't bring in are alcohol, and you can't bring in large ice chests, but you can still bring in little coolers or backpacks or your own water, your camelbacks. So come prepared.
Hot tip number 2, bring your patience. It's a big public event. You're going to be dealing with people, but also bring your patience because you want to spend some time just watching a sculptor at work. It's incredible to see them bring things to life. And also you want to prepare for some time to just stop and stare at some of these sculptures as they start to progress. I've been saying all weekend, the more you look, the more you see. And it's very true because you'll look at a sculpture and you'll see kind of the big picture. But then if you stare at it for a little bit longer, you start to see finer details. You see the intricacies of the art that they're creating. And that just makes it that much better overall.
We had a blast at Sandfest 2025, and if you happen to be in the Port Aransas area in April of 2026, I encourage you to stop in and check it out. In the meantime,
Keep on trekking.
and we'll see you out there.